In most people's eyes, success brings value.
Whether that value is recognized at the workplace or the larger family unit, we've come to learn that really, when it comes down to it,
I'm much more needed, wanted, admired, loved when I succeed at whatever I've turned my attention to.
So the principle many have adopted looks something like this. Success equals value. The greater the success, the greater the value.
And though we seem to have accepted this principle en masse, the accuracy of the equation is quite dubious. So first, let's take a look at how we commonly pursue value through success. And then let's break down exactly why it is that this kind of thinking is so destructive.
1. I think the most common pursuit in that chase for success is the one found at the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold. Money.
The thinking is quite simple. The more money I have, the more successful I must be.
And of course, the more valuable I become to family, friends, heck, anyone who knows and befriends me.
Obviously, more money can make life easier, more comfortable, and provide far more opportunities. No argument here. But if you think money makes you more valuable as a human being, well, keep watching this video. 2, power. There's something about the words boss, owner, CEO, coach, mentor that we find attractive. Even if this means being in charge of just a few, we do feel a heightened sense of value. After all, we mean something to someone else in a big way. Now, money might accompany these positions or it might not, but if you get to make the decisions and guide the actions of others, you can't help but feel successful. 3, prestige. In every culture, success can be gained by acquiring different titles.
Professor, doctor, judge, sheriff?
The titles not only speak to a certain acquisition of knowledge, but they also infer a certain amount of experience and trustworthiness.
Okay, maybe sheriff isn't the best example.
And when we have that triptych working in our favor, we're almost certain, aren't we, that we are far more valuable than those doing the exact same work with far less accreditation. Money, power, prestige, well, these are the usual suspects when chasing success. But in our own time, 3 more have been added that really should be addressed.
4, health. When one of us achieves a level of health that is definitely above and beyond the gene pool, we usually have no problem admitting the other's success. Well, at least not to them. Why? Because health is something that we all want. We all want to be stronger, faster, and live much longer. And it seems that we want these things even more than the generations that preceded us.
And why is that? Maybe it's because our national health continues to spiral downwards. Or maybe it's because we know that the state of our health largely has to do with our own choices.
Whatever the reason, we attribute the value not just to the health that one possesses, but to the one who possesses it. They did it. They're successful when many of us are not.
Perhaps like no other time, we can either judge or prove success simply by appealing to that wonderful word, experiences. Yeah, this is where I tell you that I've ridden camels across the deserts of Egypt, flown a plane across the Caribbean, and maybe snorkeled among the coral reefs.
I still haven't done any of those things.
So why would I tell you about my travels? Because even if I don't have money or power, prestige, or health, I know that in our current society, we collectively value unique and out-of-the-way experiences. And we hold others in much higher esteem who have lived them. 6, goal setting. Success can come in all shapes and sizes, but this one is really unique. When you tell me that you've set your mind to do something, no matter how bizarre, and how you have subsequently achieved that thing that you set out to do, it's almost expected that I and others applaud and celebrate you. So you found a way to touch your nose 1,000 times in 1 minute.
Good for you.
You decided to shave your back hair and recreate a map of Hogwarts using glue and a bag of Lego?
Great.
You've succeeded, and I suppose your value, in the eyes of some, has gone up dramatically. So what's wrong with all this? Live and let live. Well, the problem is that this mentality is both personally and socially destructive. Let's unpack it. Value as function. Look, there's no denying that success in many of its forms is wildly useful. After all, power, money, prestige, all of these create opportunities that further the human project and improve our conditions of life. But if that's all value is, the recognition that someone else could be of help, then we would expect to see a sharp decline in perceived value as the individual needs more than he gives. This is exactly what has happened in our time.
Because we have put an equal sign between success and value, people like the unborn, those in extreme medical care, and those with fewer cognitive resources are all deemed less valuable than others because they're less useful.
Even the elderly, who were once seen as a powerful link to our past and a sure guide in the troubles that lay ahead, are themselves now succumbing to the god of usefulness, questioning their own value as their productivity diminishes. And in the end, some of them are even letting go so as to not become a burden on those they cherish. Something's wrong here. Value is economic category. We've all played Monopoly with our lives, and we know from experience, or the game, that supply and demand has a lot to do with the value of goods and services. But when it comes to humanity, do we really want to say that one's value can rise and fall based on another human being's evaluation of us? And from one day to the next? So today they're impressed that you took a trip to Europe. Wow, he's so cool. And tomorrow they consider your work with charity to be both a waste of time and talent. What's he doing with his life? When your value can rise and fall like the stock market, it really is time to reevaluate this mad pursuit for success. Value's source. At the heart of all these criticisms is perhaps the greatest deformity of them all. It's the idea that human beings alone are the source of another person's value. It's not that one person can't find another person useful or talented or pleasant or a godsend. It's just that my dignity, my value as a human being doesn't begin when you recognize it. It begins when my life does. And for some reason, there are actually individuals out there who are trying to make my value and yours a matter of debate, as if your dignity was actually something they could weigh in on. But it's not. Ultimately, this is the problem. When you chase success so that you can in some way, shape, or form feel more valuable, you have just conceded that they have a right to judge you by their own standards. But remember, those who give it can take it away.